Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And there's a show back in town which is a hoot. Shout the Mod musical is back and it's starring Amelia Lilly. It's also starring Suzanne Shaw and the gorgeous Niki Evans. Well, they're all gorgeous, really. Girls, how are you?
Oh, we feel really good now.
You are delicious. I've got to come and see this. What a stellar cast. And it's on in Blackpool, which is the perfect place to be. It's on between October 19th and November 3rd, which I think is the time they've got the illumination. So this is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant.
Let's talk to you first, Suzanne. What a career. You start off on a reality show, and you, all three of you, I think, can relate to this. You start on there, and quickly you disappear if you're just average. But you girls aren't. You've had an incredible career, and all found fame through musical theatre. I guess that's the ultimate legitimate test of your talent, because if you can do it 8 times a week, you've got to be a star.
I've got to say, we've all dipped our toes into every aspect of the industry, and I will have to say that theatre is by far the most hardest industry, because you can't just do it half-hearted. You have to switch it on 8 times a week. If you're doing panto 12 times a week, it's exhausting. So it does kind of separate the good ones from the average to the bad. So, luckily we're all in theatre. So there you go.
I've always wondered what's the biggest skill, whether it's being an amazing singer, actor and dancer, which you all are, or is it the fact that you've the discipline to do it? Because it's an amazing test of character to turn up and do the same thing in the same order night after night, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. It's not easy going, that's for sure. And like I said, when you're on 8 times a week, even if you're ill, you don't. Especially this show, there's no understudies who can go on for us, so we've got to be on our game every single night.
The last time I spoke to Niki, I think was in London when you played Mrs. Johnson in Blood Brothers, which I just thought was sensational. At the time they said, "Are you too young?" They said, "Would you do it?" And you just knocked it out the park. There was an immense tragedy sort of in that performance that you were able to bring to life. It's a great role, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. I love Mrs. J. I did it. I did it her for 4 years, and I did it in Blackpool as well. And it's a fabulous show. There's no getting, and it's one of the biggest parts that you can play as a woman. I was the youngest at the time, but there's been younger than me since. So, yeah, it was a great show.
And I guess in terms of female roles, that's got to be one of the best that everybody wants to get.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Apart from the Orange Lady, which I'm sitting in my orange dress right now.
I wish I could have been there. It would have been marvellous. And, of course, Amelia, we look at you and the most recent of the reality show stars that have survived. And, again, you've made it in musical theatre and in one of the toughest, just on tour recently. And that voice really gets to shine. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much.
What's it like being you? I mean, to be young, and I say this to all three of you, really, to be young, to be sexy, to be popular and in work really is the showbiz.
Maybe just to Amelia, you can ask that. There you go.
Come on, don't put yourself up. But it must be nice. I mean, to be in work is the ultimate key. And when people say, how are you doing? If you're still at it, you're successful, aren't you?
I think a lot of people think in this industry that you're just going to get offered job after job after job. But that's not the case. You've got to get on top of your arse and you've got to go and fight for it. And I've learned that. And yeah, I have been lucky. Since X Factor, I've worked non-stop. But I am a grafter, and so is Niki and Suzanne. I've seen both of them. Like I've seen Niki on X Factor and thought she was amazing. I've seen Suzanne on everything that she's been doing. I went to see her in concert just. And so yeah, it's quite daunting for me actually, because I'm surrounded by these extremely talented ladies that have done a lot more than me. I've got no pressure for me. But it's great, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot from them as well.
I saw that Green Day musical on Broadway, and it is a racket, isn't it? It couldn't be further away from this, because in one way that's just a huge rock concert. This is sort of wonderful songs from that mod era of all the classics that we love.
It's completely different, but that's what I like to challenge myself, and I'm looking forward to doing something completely different. The American Idiot's completely different, but I'm so excited to sing, the classic 60 songs with no men. Yay! Yeah.
Oh, come on! There must be a bit of fun having a few guys. And tell us about the story, because with all these sort of jukebox musicals, they try and find a way of weaving in these songs. I mean, have we got sort of moments like in We Will Rock You where they say, how are you going to get there? And they sing on a bicycle, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, this is about 5
completely different women and how they grow up through the 60s and, you know, how they see themselves of what they thought they wanted and ending up in the 70s and getting something different. It's quite a liberating show for women. And, you know, the girls, we've only just met this morning, but I'm so excited to work with them. They're just incredible girls. And just the nicest thing about it is that they're nice people. And to work with nice people is a real pleasure.
Yeah, it's half the fun. I mean, we look at the songs in this, To Sir with Love, Lulu, Downtown, Petula, we've got You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, Dusty. I mean, they don't get any bigger hits than this. Is there a pressure that you've sort of got to live up to them?
All the best of the women, and I'm really excited to hear the other girls put their spin on it, because obviously we're not parrots, and we've got our own way of putting things over, and the girls have got amazing voices. All the girls in the show have got amazing voices, so it's going to be... Yeah, but totally different, and I'm really excited to hear how it all is all going to come together and all sound.
Obviously, I haven't seen it yet because I don't do time travel. It opens October 19th through November the 3rd, and I saw it years ago. I think Sue Pollard was in it. Is that right?
Apparently so, and I'm sitting in her dress, I think.
Has she still got a few stains? Just have a look.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, you never know.
I tried it with Chanel 5 earlier on.
Those summers in theatres, they can be cruel, can't they? What I remember about it was that it was just a feel-good show, and my God, do we need that right now?
Absolutely, and this is what's great about it. You can step out of reality and take a couple of hours off to just go and enjoy some trusted, great 60s, 70s pop songs. And yes, like I said, just have a little bit of time away from what is, you know, happening out there.
Just very finally on the reality stuff, because it's interesting that all three of you have that in common. I know people poo-poo it and some people say, oh, well, it's no way to make a career. But for you, do you think it was just a platform to get the fame, to get these wonderful gigs? Because without it, it's hard to do that. Fundamentally, you're all actresses that have worked and wanted to be singers, not stars.
The thing is, nowadays, you can't go about it without going on reality. And that's just basically the cold, harsh reality of it. You know, even people who have been under management for a long time trying to make it through the back door, the managers are going, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go into X Factor, you're going to have to go on Britain's Got Talent, because that is the only way you're going to have any success. So as much as maybe from the very first of the pop stars, which I was in, and, you know, the entire record industry booed us at the Brits, it's funny now how that's the only way you can get in the door. So, you know, there's no kind of, that's, you know, the naff way to go about it. It's the only way.
And just to sum up that feeling when you're stood centre stage with that pin focus during one of the finals, you've made it right to the very end and everybody's looking at you and millions are watching you on TV. Niki, is there any way of describing that?
Not really, because you don't realise that that's happening. You're on the stage. You really can't remember. I mean, it's really weird when you used to come off and go back to the house and then people say, do you realise that there's like 14, 15 million people watching you? But because you're doing it in front of a studio audience, you don't see that side, and you're quite cocooned, aren't you, really, into a different world. You know, you're protected from it all. And it's when you get out of that, because like literally you're in it one day and you're out the next. And so you're kind of given all this in one hand, but it's taken away with another, and you have to find your own way. And because we are off reality TV programs, we're shunned a lot because people don't think that we can do it, you know. And it's good for the girls. It's really good, and for the three of us to be together, I think that's quite special because we are still going. And honestly, the talent that's in this room right now with these two lovely ladies is just immense.
Yeah.
You know, people should just relax about it, because at the end of the day, whether we'd be doing it, you know, in Shout the Musical, or whether we'd be doing the next Working Men's Club, we'd still be in this industry, regardless. It's just that, you know, being on, you know, it wasn't easy getting on the X Factor, was it, Amelia? It's a hard run. And I suppose, you know, because Suzanne did it years ago, I bet it was even harder. And people forget you.
Yeah.
Because there's so many now. There's The Voice, there's Britain's Got Talent, there's three other shows that you're, you know, so every 6 months they're churning out more. So you've got to fight more because everybody wants the newest one. So it's not an easy life.
No. Like I say, though, the greatest compliment is you're still in work and you're still at it and doing it and hugely successful. And that is testament to your voices. Amelia, finally being in Blackpool this autumn, is that going to be fun? Are you looking forward to sort of going up the North Pier and enjoying Blackpool? Because it's still a phenomenal place to go. And that Blackpool Opera House is stunning.
I can't wait. I've always wanted to perform at the Winter Gardens. So it's like, I absolutely can't wait. And I wish we were here longer. It's only a 2-week run. But I can't wait, and I'm just going to enjoy every minute of it. And me and Suzanne are taking us to Funny Girls.
Are you? And I'm sure the crowds will be up for a laugh, because that's the thing about Blackpool. They're going to be there on holiday. They're going to be there for fun. And this is the perfect show to put in that theatre.
Oh, yeah, and we can literally roll out of the Winter Gardens in what we're wearing and go, hey.
Yes, you'll fit in.
There's nothing wrong with the 60s, pal, I'm telling you.
What I can't wait is to see you three perform live, because when you hear people with your talent knocking these numbers out, and let's face it, they're not easy. These songs might be legendary, but something like Downtown, it goes very high, it goes very low, and you've got to do it properly, because if not, it just sounds karaoke, doesn't it?
Yes, Suzanne.
Yes, you do. You do have to do it properly. Yeah, do you know what? With a show like this, there is no disguising your vocals. So basically, I'm not going to be able to go out drinking that much.
I find that hard to believe. Let's do another interview, maybe on Halloween, something like that, and see how you're all faring. I suspect you'll have been out for a couple of nights. Girls, congratulations. You're all individually phenomenally talented, and put you together collectively, it's going to be an amazing show. Let's do the big plug then. It's happening at Blackpool Opera House this autumn. Don't miss Shout the Musical. It's the mod musical with these classic hits, starring Suzanne Shaw, Niki Evans, and of course, Amelia Lilly too. Thank you so much for your time, girls.